Emma Ballard in the Crystal Book, and now we'll be reading Chapter 9, Midnight Nightmare. Bolting from her sleep, Emma cringed. Monstrous shadows danced on her walls, illuminated by freakish lightning piercing through the blackness of the storm. She shuddered at two luminous eyes glowing in at her from outside her window. Huge suction cups the size of dinner plates clasped onto the glass. She screamed again. Adele raced down the staircase in a panic, almost bumping into Flo. "Mama!" Emma sobbed, holding out her arms. "Mama!" Adele held her close. "What happened?" "I'm scared." "I'm here now. Don't be frightened. Tell me what frightened you so." "I saw eyes right there looking in at me. I dreamed that I was riding Primbo, and we were running faster and faster. And then we fell, and I went tumbling down a black tunnel. It was so dark. And then I saw a flash of lightning and these huge eyes staring at me with long tentacles, reaching out for me, wrapping around me, pulling on me. It was so real. I think I did see something out my window in the lightning. I saw eyes and the tentacles that pulled me. I'm scared, Mama." Flo stood by. "I will be right back." The thunderstorm passed over, fading into the distance, its rumbling barely audible. And Flo returned with the crystal she used for this very thing. She held it close to Emma's forehead. "This will calm you." Those eyes staring at me through the window, and tentacle arms like an octopus stuck on the glass. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't, Mama. "You should have no fear of an octopus ever," Flo assured her. "They are wisest of all creatures and are so gentle." Emma, now with little memory of the frightened dream, snuggled with her mother. Flo went straight to work in the kitchen, creating a special treat for Emma in the morning. How could we ever leave her alone? We knew the storm was coming. Her work finally lit with reflections of raindrops dotting the gardens. Each drop took on the scent of where it landed. The air, alive with fragrances of flowers, herbs, trees, and rich earth from which they stemmed, welcomed the chorus-filled gardens as the birds announced a new day with their own compositions. Fry got busy opening the house back up, allowing the manor to draw in the garden aromas to meander throughout. He peeked into Emma's room. They were still asleep. Tiptoeing over to open the window, sizable round silhouette shapes on the glass caught his eye. He frowned in concern, for he knew what they meant. Reassured by Emma's peaceful appearance, he left quietly and found Flo in the kitchen. He peered over her shoulder. The girls are still asleep. Achoo! Excuse me. Flo nodded with approval. "Join me. How about a cup of fresh brew?" The two of them tried to enjoy the early morning from the veranda. The sweet sounds, plus the fragrance of the garden, exuded a dreamy ambience, but the reality of the storm prevailed. Flo broke the spell of pure bliss. Emma had another experience during the storm. Fry said nothing. He could not hide his guilt for sleeping through it all. Flo clenched her fists. "I knew the storm was coming. I knew something was brewing. I knew better than to leave her alone. Something is going on, and it's getting stronger each time, Fry. Perhaps it is sensing she will be gone from here soon, to a place it cannot touch her." Fry shrugged and shared he saw that she had been again rescued by Pathos. Yes, she will be meeting him soon enough. If it were not for him, we would have lost her many portal dreams ago. Imagine 10 years of this. Thankfully, the sea is a safe place from the black hole. Wish we could say that here. Our little island, it should be as safe as the sea. The sea has achieved living in peace for so long now, no wars, no battles, living by wisdom and light. Why can't we do that here on land too, Fry? Why? Fry gazed into her eyes. Somehow, we humans have not learned how to get along as well. Someday world peace may happen, but not until all humans realize the wisdom of light and love, I guess. Their conversation came to a halt, interrupted by a loud yawn. Adele poured herself a cup of the black brew. What a night. I need this. It smells wonderful. Come on out here and sit with us, Flo insisted. I will take Emma's breakfast to her after coffee. I think Gabe might be bringing the ponies again. What a sight to see those two sticking their heads in that window, Fry chuckled. Adele sat down to sip on her coffee, and Flo jumped up. I must add some things to the breakfast tray, then. Adele and Fry looked at each other and shrugged. That's our Flo. She never sits around for long, Adele sighed. Flo prepared a plate of sliced apples and sugar cubes. On another, she placed breakfast and her project she had worked on during the wee hours of the morning. All smiles, she presented the breakfast tray. Gabe had already arrived, sitting on the bed with sleepy-eyed Emma. The ponies, sticking their heads through the windows, hoped for treats. Emma stared with surprise at her favorite goblet with a dolphin base, and inside was a crystal octopus floating around. A bit shaky, she mustered a smile. Flo handed her the goblet. Drink from this glass. It will ease any unsettled feelings you have. Remember, an octopus is wise and gentle. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they are as wise as Plato or Socrates. Gabe handed the ponies a few apple slices. Or Tesla, or Einstein, or Copernicus, he said. I hear people eat octopus. I could never eat one. Emma took long sips from her tentacled drink. This octopus has 10 arms. Flo motioned to drink up, and Emma squished her face up as the popping and fizzing started. Speaking of octopus, you two will be going off to your first summer of sea camp soon, Flo said. Emma pointed to her legs. Will I be able to go like this? Of course you can. You won't have any problem at all. Now eat your breakfast. You have to keep up your strength. Gabe munched on his croissant. I can't wait to go. Hey, how come boys have to wait till they're 12 before they can go and girls get to go when they're 10? It just doesn't seem fair. Emma licked at blue teeth. Well, I have to wait to go flying. You get to go now because you're 12, Emma said, and that's not very fair. Gabe interrupted her. Well, I had to wait till I was 12 to go to sea camp and fly. At least you get to go to sea camp at 10. How come? Well, that's because girls mature faster than boys, Emma interrupted. That's quite enough, Flo chirped. For the answer to that one, it has strictly to do with sea camp rules. There must be a good reason why girls get to go 2 years younger. Well, whatever, I gotta go, Gabe said, and climbed on Scout's back. Emma gave Primbo one last hug and sighed. I miss riding so much. When I'm healed, I will ride again. Why can't I go now? Just strap me on. Flo whispered to Adele in passing. We need to get her out on a pony ride if we can. I will be in the greenhouse if you need me. Adele agreed with a vigorous nod and grabbed clothes from the wardrobe. Let's get you dressed. We have lots of things to do, my almost birthday girl. I hope everyone will come. I wonder what they'll think of me like this, Mama. Do they know about it? They will think you're a birthday girl and treat you no different because you are no different. Tomorrow is supposed to be fun, and it will be. Now, we have to get things ready for your big party day. The kitchen table stood laden with all the things needing to be prepared. Emma sat in her father's happy chair. She had learned to be helpful at a very young age, so he was very happy to help. She had always been included in doing things with her parents. She snapped up the knife and waved it through the air like a magic wand. Abracadabra, everything's done. Be careful with that, Adele demanded, grabbing the egg basket. I'll be right back. Emma centered celery on the wooden board, her knife clacking against the wood in a rhythmic sequence, crunching through the stalks. Happy to hear her mother's footsteps, she looked up from her chopping. I cut these into 4 pieces. Is there a green egg, Mama? With a worried expression, Adele opened and closed cupboards for the items needed to bake the cake. She glanced over in the basket. Yes, there's a green egg. I wish Gabby would get here to help. We have so much to do. At that moment, Gabby nonchalantly strolled into the kitchen, all bright and cheery. She handed Adele a bunch of washed carrots, freshly pulled from the garden. Here, let me make the cake. You start the carrot sticks. Emma, those are perfect. We will fill them with pimento cheese and some with peanut butter. Emma sat straighter. What can I do next? Adele handed her a bowl of strawberries. Here, you can dip these in chocolate. Gabby muttered out loud the amount of each item needed for the cake. Wow, 5 eggs it calls for. Emma requested to please use Bean's green one and turned her attention to her mother. Mom, you always keep your ears covered. Do you feel like you have to cover up your birthmark too, like me? Adele pulled back her hair. With my ears? It's the best I do, don't you think? Why are they so pointy on top? Really, why? Emma asked, feeling her own rounded ones. Gabby quit beating the cake batter to listen, giving Adele a look of, what are you going to tell her? She kept the tips of her ears covered too, even with her short pixie cut. Would you believe me if I told you I come from a long line of an Elvish clan? Adele asked. Mama, you always said it's your form of birthmark. I knew it was more than that. How did you and Daddy meet? How come my ears aren't pointed too? Adele pulled her hair back over her ears. Well, you are growing up, and all these questions, my. How about this? When you get back from sea camp, we will talk about it as a family at the end of the summer. And I love your birthmark on your earlobe. It's perfectly shaped heart. Remember, always be proud that you are a Ballard. At that moment, Merlin flew into the kitchen and perched on the cupboard. He fluffed his wings and began to preen. Emma greeted him. Hey, Merlin, see all the goodies we're making for the party? Sometimes I think he understands what we were saying, don't you, Mama? Yes, I do believe he does. Now, get to work dipping those strawberries instead of eating them, and I will be right back. I have some presents to wrap. Gabby slid the cake into the oven. I will go along and help. I'll set the timer. Merlin, come get me if I'm not back. We don't want it to burn. Emma had Beastie asleep in the chair next to her, and while Merlin dozed off on the cupboard, she smiled at the prospect of opening presents. I hope I get something I like, she said. Beastie stretched with a yawn and meowed. Emma giggled. Beastie, sometimes I think you know what I'm saying. She nibbled on a dipped strawberry and sat back, savoring the deliciousness of the dark chocolate and the sweet fruit mixed together. Oh, I wish I were in my garden bed right now. I wonder if I'll ever see Cayenne again. Chapter 10 is next.